Starting our guided medicine with a practice in English. Uh, so, please be seated. Uh, look for a comfortable seat and a possible put your phone on silent mode and face down so you are not bothered and you can at least have some good spiritual quality time, which is, I guess, very essential, important for us to um, take some time to rejuvenate spiritually or mentally. Yeah, yeah. Please come on in. Na sawo le shi tu la le ya chun. No ne be. Ga to be shush. Ta wa chap cha wa chin nam si pyo tang chi. Ah. So since it's a guided meditation, so once you sit down, don't talk to each other. You have to have the full attention. And I'm quite a sensitive person. I may get offended, you know. If you're talking to each other, um, doing funny things like that. So um, unfortunately, it's not funny enough, that you kind of treating your spiritual practice as a part of entertainment, right? And please get the copy of the book so at least you know what is happening. You know, only the enlightened one don't need the book. So if you are enlightened, I don't think you have to should be sitting here as well, right? So all right. So if you are good under a good teacher and you have been practicing according to uh, certain method and then the um, guidelines, then I think you're all right. Otherwise, not only this practice, so this is just consider as a training, for you to uh, train yourself how to do a simple practice. If you want to give a little bombastic, like exciting word, little meditations, Unfortunately, there's no meditation in Dharma. It's an English word that we borrowed. And whenever we say meditation, you feel like, oh, you don't see many of the lamas are doing it. For example, I don't sit down even for 1 minute, Doesn't mean I don't meditate. Right? So it's actually it's called practice, right? Mm, Nyamlen. In the Chuke, we call Nyamlen. Nyamlen means Nyamlen, bring into practice, right? Um, so um, for for the practice, what we needed to do is we just always have to begin our practice, be it your tara, denshe, whatever the little things you do in the morning, you know, always, okay? Begin with very relaxed, calm mind, you know, and disconnect yourself from the all the thoughts and worries that you are experiencing, you know. So it's like two different worlds, a mundane world and the spiritual world. So disconnect from the mundane world and connect yourself to the spiritual world. And how do you do this? So, all right, let's begin with um, disconnecting ourselves from our busy day that you had. Stop looking at left and right. Just look straight in front. Just imagine you are being alone in this place. Right? Point one: keep your back straight. Always keep your back straight. Second part: open up your chest. Okay, open up your chest and shoulder blade. This too does the magic for you to wake up, for you to freshen up. And in the Chuke we say Lu Tambigi Tsatan, Tsatambigi Luntan, Luntambigi Semtan. So meaning there are few factors. When your body is straight and all your channels, we call tsa, but channels, that all the chakras and channels are straightened up. Once it's straightened, tsa lung, right? Lu Tambi Tsatan, Tsatambigi, then lung, and then the energy flows much better into your channels. If your energy flows, then your mind really relaxes. So body, channel, energy, and your awareness. These four. I'm glad nobody is making notes, since I'm just entertaining it. And this four, right, is we call Lu, Ta, Lung, Sem. So this will complement for you to be really activate and make you more inviting towards your practice. Yeah. So now let's open up your chest, keep your back straight, hand in the front, okay? Hand in the front, and breathe through your nose. Yeah. Long inhale. Consider your stomach as a balloon. Just let all the air, from wisdom, love, and compassion from this outer space to be inhaled. And hold it. Just hold the air, the breathing. Now exhale. Long exhale. If you are into modern yoga, the Ujjayi breath is what we have to do. Okay? All right. So when you inhale all the love, divine power, wisdom from the outer space. Fill your entire body with that positive energy. For instance, today, Medicine Buddha's all the healing energies to be inhaled and fill in your tummy. Once you are not able to hold it anymore, then you exhale gently and exhale completely, tuck in your tummy, and the Ujjayi breath like. Then there will be certain sensations and the heat in the body that really helps you to disconnect from your stress, anxiety, panic attack, all those things, yeah? All right, let's do that. Long inhale. Push it down to your lower abdominal. Exhale gently through your nose. Ujjayi breath. And imagine you are free from all these destructive emotions and slowly give yourself a new life into beautiful, positive emotions, full of love, compassion, awareness, joy in this beautiful setting of the Guru Bekhanze, being in such an auspicious month. And smile, just be happy that you are here today, The gratitude to your body that you have a perfect sight, you have a perfect hearing, you have perfect health. So be grateful for that. All right, now do the self-scanning, the scanning of our thought. Why we are doing the things that we do. In the Dharma, we call it in the beginning. The intention is so important. Let's check our intention and have our motivations set correctly. How to check this is we have to think and ask ourselves why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. For what purpose? If you are here because of your own health or because of someone that you care for, or it could be a mental or physical challenges that you are experiencing right now. Of course, this is the right things to do, to seek refuge under spiritual guidance. But only for your well-being is not very healthy, So it's a bit self-centered, isn't it? Right? You are just thinking of your own well-being. So as a Dharma follower of Buddha Dharma, we needed to include all the other beings like ourselves, who are, be it physically or mentally, not in a good place, going through, be it some diseases, sicknesses, or some mental stress, So in the teaching, it says dajen nyam. The sameness is so important, that Buddha also taught that all his teachings is based on care and the concern. Take yourself as an example and treat others like how you want to be treated. So this is the sameness. If you don't appreciate all the difficult things in your life, you do not become the sources of that discomfort and the sadness for other people. So that sameness, you and I, or everyone on this earth is same, with all the being as we, being as sentient beings, we have all the fears, anxiety, desire. Everyone wants to be loved, validated, appreciated, right? Including the little dog. He wags his, when he wags his tail because he wanted to be, have some attention from you. Even such animal like this, ignorance animals like that have the desire to live happily and seeking happiness. And knowing this, so we have to generate this genuine love for all the sentient beings. There are two beings, right? Living beings and sentient beings. When you say sentient beings, beings with the mind and the fear, mainly the fear and anxiety, or fear and love, So all the sentient beings wants to be happy, and I wanted to be the sources of that happiness, is what we call love in the Dharma. In the Chuke, it's called Jamba Tsemeba, Jamto Tobe, you very affectionate. You are willing to do anything for the welfare of those sentient beings, like those Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, So today, I'm here for the purpose of love. I'm not talking about the love that I have the love, that loving my belongings, loving my friends, loving my family. These are called lay ordinary love. You have these feelings and affectionness, emotion towards your loved one, because you wanted to maintain that. You don't want to lose it. For example, the ordinary love has a tremendous fear. Contemplate, hope, that worry that this person may leave you. Your handphone may get dropped. May your belongings be stolen, spoiled. So then you really love it and you really take good care of it. And that good care and the emotion arises due to great fear, right? The fear. So now we have to generate such great care and love without fear, but only with great wish and hope. So right now, the ordinary love we have for our children, belongings, and things we have is full of hope and expectation, that hope this person will love the same way. I have certain expectations in return. Another layman's word is called conditional love. But the beautiful thing is, everyone has the ability to love. Only the sad part is with conditions and with full of fear. So now in the Dharma, what we needed to do is we needed to love fearlessly, unconditionally, and boundlessly towards all the beings, including your enemies, the people that you hate so much, people that have harmed you, or harmed your family. They put shame on you, So as a Dharma follower, love is always about forgiving, and seeking forgiveness and wishing others to be better, So today we have to check our intention. Do I have that intention? I have little problem here, but that my problem compared to the bigger problem is a very tiny problem, but my problem is the beginning of my positive emotions. I repeat, my little experience I'm experiencing right now is the beginning of my good thinking, because I don't like it. I'm not happy with it, be it my health, relationship, my work. I'm not happy with it. And I wanted to overcome this, and I wanted to do it better. So today, I generate this for all the beings under the sun and the moon. I want all the beings to be happy. So for the purpose of happiness and the love, today, in the presence of Medicine Buddha, I generate this genuine, unconditional, boundless love, including the person who had harmed me so much, be it your children, unfortunately sometimes, and very common are your relationships, especially, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriends. The love affairs has been cause of a lot of suicidals. There are people who are not able to come out of their room because they are so heartbroken right now, thinking of ending their life. Doesn't matter how caring mother, father, brothers, siblings, and friends you have, but that loser is so important to you that you are willing to give up your life for that person, And it happened to few of us, right? That you become so dysfunctional emotionally. And today, even when you think of that person, you get so upset, and this tremendous sadness is there, And it's just the emotions, nothing more than that. Due to unenlightened mind, we're stuck here with this déjà vu, that memories, and we have to overcome, So for that purpose, I'm here today. Instead of feeling sad, angry, worried, I just send my love to you and like all the other harm doers. So for this purpose, we will begin our practice for love. Second is the compassion. Having such compassion is so important in the Dharma. When you say compassion, the person that you pray for has to be suffering. For love, not necessarily. For love could be love to your mother, your friends, they are already in a good health, they are doing good, but you wish them to do better. That's called love. Even in the Dharma we say Semchen Thamche Dewa Thang, meaning they are already happy. Devi Judang Dambara Juchi say, may you be more happier, more happy. That's called love. Now the second part, when you say compassion, that emotion is bit painful, bit of sadness, bit of worries, concern here. Really a heart pain. Meaning the person that you are thinking of, or the prayer that you are sending or you are doing for, is suffering at this moment. For example, people in the hospital bed, or your friend who is going through a difficult relationship, or not able to find job, or your visa got rejected, and so all these emotions, you're going through such terrible emotions, be it physical or mental, and you think of that person and all the other beings who are going through tremendous sufferings. And I have been telling this, and I genuinely have been feeling this emotion since yesterday. Today is the 29th, Senyishugu, tomorrow is Namkha, Sechi. All the meat shop will be open. You know what? At this very moment, I think a couple of hundred of animals been slaughtered in the butcher's house. Possible? Can we? Not tomorrow. They are already killing those cows. Our Noshapa is being, killed. Pakshapa, Shashamaru, chili chicken, right? Fish, fry fish. Everything is happening right now at this very moment. All the blood is like splatter everywhere, making all kind of painful noise like howling, crying. And we are the demand, by the way. You and I, we are the demands for that. And this feeling is not very nice, to be honest, right? So that's called compassion. Feeling helpless, yet things are unstoppable. This is why all the Buddhas got into Dharma practice. Looking at stupid being like us, ignorant, innocent, so helpless, then they decided to discontinue from this samsara, be on the path. So now that today, all the practice we motivate, firstly for our dishes, right? Chicken, beef, pork, fish. We really, number one, we feel sorry for the people who still consume meat. We are so ignorant, it's just for us, it's a flavor. In return, we have to suffer eventually. So there are two ways to look at it. We feel sorry for all the animals who will be like painfully, murdered, slaughtered. But at the same time, all the consumers, we have to pay back our karma. So there's a double emotions. Suppliers, demands, both will suffer. Demand, we will suffer eventually. And the suppliers will suffer right now, going through all the torture, merciless act of, how brutally they will kill those animals. So thinking of that, to be honest, is a really painful emotions that actually that we are experiencing right now. Yet everything is continuing, happening, right? This is more sad, even more painful. Things are happening, but we are doing nothing. and we do not have the means to also stop in general. If you and I, one or two, can try to stop, at least for ourselves and our family member, certain awareness, this will be the beginning, I guess, right? But all this Sathar Thokpa, collecting money, getting into all these difficult things, I find it quite painful as well. I did involve in some of the activities. It's not very pleasant as well, because it involves human being. Human has unfortunately a lot of unenlightened mind, and part of the unenlightened mind is so um, is so unhealthy, and that really destroys all the good things in this world, right? So anyway, these are the human errors. Unfortunately, since we are still a very ordinary human being. So today, you and I and all of us wanted to really, really practice first personally for ourselves to overcome our ignorance. Secondly, that really feeling all those helpless animals, human beings who are so ignorant and full of errors, going through tremendous sufferings. There are such things called cause and result. We are the cause of suffering right now, right? And the results are the beings, sentient beings in the hell realm, sentient beings in the animal realms. These are the result of suffering, the act. And sentient beings in the Prithas realm, and the other beings who are going through mental and physical discomfort and suffering right now. These are the result. Thinking of both the one that who is creating new karma and one that who is experiencing the result karma is very sad looking at it. So feeling that sadness and great compassion towards self and others, today I am here in the presence of Medicine Buddha to make aspirations and help all these helpless beings to be freed from sufferings, including myself. This is the reason that I'm here. And every morning when you do practice, do that. You just don't go like, oh, that Lama told me, that Rinpoche told me to do this. It's just, it's just so not proper. And anyway, you are investing time to do that, spending certain time. Must well just do it well. First thing always, this is also called mind training. Just always contemplate. In the beginning, the intention is so important. So always spend 5-10 minutes, Firstly, love. Let yourself grow into a beautiful, boundless love. Secondly, then feel all the beings who are going through tremendous sufferings and let yourself generate a genuine sadness and the really genuine, authentic emotions to really help, or feeling like, a bit tired of this world. I did not mention this the past few days. This 4 training has a tremendous help on personal growth. The first one, if you meditate on love so much, says you will be free from anger, is an antidote to your anger. Say, for example, you and I, any of us, who could really meditate, contemplate, practice love, that person can never be angry. Because for you, the world is one. You just don't have any hatred because you are full of love. So this is how to train yourself if you are a bit of angry bird. If you have this very difficult attitude, just meditate always on love. Second part is the compassions, right? At this moment, I'm sure you all felt, So what happened when you think of sufferings? Your desire is an antidote to your desire. If someone really practices into compassion, then you suddenly feel that none of this makes sense to you. Everything is cause of sufferings, right? For example, let's talk about very beautiful things that you look at. You see people travel outside Bhutan, for example, right? Unfortunately, it happens to our dear friends, right? Go to Australia, suddenly died in a car accident, suddenly you got cancer, you just come back, sometimes in the, just in the little pot, vase, sometimes just in the box. And we are not a Buddha, we don't know what our future lies in. Yet we are so excited. It's good to think positive, yet that possibility is there. So when you hear such news, when you see such things, you don't feel quite right about these things, whatever is happening right now. And we get promoted, you become certain level of like flourishing your so-called career. Suddenly you got, fired, what do we call gonfu, right? Or your health got, you're diagnosed with an incurable disease. There's nothing to look at it, and be it wealth as well. So when you look at someone's sufferings, doesn't excite us anymore. In fact, we feel so tired of this world, exhaustions, and especially Bhutanis right now, since we are developing, this exhaustion is little lesser. If you in the developed country, this is very common. There are many people by nature, they are depressed. And I have met a lot of people. They came to me and said, I have everything. I have nice car, fantastic relationship, good health, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy, they said. I'm just not happy looking at this world. I'm just not happy. I can't find meaning of life. We go for very expensive holidays. We do have such an expensive car, None of this excites me anymore. Then they ask, how, So when we hear such things, then the things that we wanted to achieve in life doesn't make much sense, because these individuals are going through tremendous insecurity and the sadness and the loneliness, yet they have everything with them, right? For Bhutan is yet to grow. Only the certain percentage of Bhutanese are feeling it. The rest of us is still chasing our dreams, But one day you will feel that, right? So if you want it to be contained, then you should meditate more on compassion. Then you will be contained. So it's antidote for desire. Now the third one is the joy. Feeling a tremendous joy and being rejoicing. Meaning all the beings who are doing well. Sorry, it's because it's very relatable. Your ex-husband, your ex-wife is in Australia doing much better. You may be feeling sad here. Don't. Be happy. Darling, I'm so happy. You lied to me actually, saying that it's a fake marriage, whatever that things, Now it's really not true, And now they stop contacting you anymore. Because to be honest, the person the other side is stressful. They have to make their own living and also if to send the money for you is not funny, right? So all these things we hear is happening, but right now what we needed to do is be happy, right? And just rejoice. I'm not treated the way I deserve, but this is the human error, is a very, very ordinary, very, very common for human beings. I have been telling this to my friends and students. World is not fair. Really, we are not fair. And we are profit orientated. In the Dharma, we call Chuke Dakampa. Dakampa meaning this universe is called Dakampa, this continent. Dokampa meaning desire world. And the entire system of this human world is built on desire. That's why Dokampa. And I always share this. Some of the scholars like, for me, when things are not fair, I'm absolutely fine because we are profit orientated. Everyone is looking for profit, not materially but emotionally, spiritually. For example, I am dharma profit orientated. I have been appealing, Sojong Shuname, please do practice. This is the wish I have, my desire. Without this desire, I cannot do what I'm doing right now. My main energy is the desire. Similarly, we all have healthy and unhealthy desires. Sometimes spiritual volunteer work, this could be a little healthy desire, yet it's still profit orientated. And once the things is ruling through desire, things can be little complicated. Doesn't matter is a healthy or unhealthy desire, because it's also built on hope and expectations, right? Once you have the desire, for example, I have hope that people will meditate, people will practice, and there's expectations. And since there is hope and expectations, then there's a disappointment. Always, unfortunately, and things are not fair. So what I'm saying is, if you are feeling that you are abused, you are the victim, it's so unfair, you are saddened, you're disturbed, it's very normal. It's not only happening with you, it's happening with all of us. You are just one of them. But what you can do is just learn to forgive, seek for forgiveness, gain your own freedom back. Psychologically, they say disconnect yourself and discontinue is what it is. Do not prolong your emotions. You have to just disconnect. Disconnect, wrap up. There's called emotional disconnect, meaning if, for example, if it's a relationship, delete everything, no trace left. Delete everything, all the things, burn it, really give it away. I see down there a lot of people collecting clothes, all your, be it the dead people, be it for me it really helps. I tried with the people. I said, try to, as study shows, disconnect. How to disconnect? Let's use a relationship. If you had a terrible relationship, if you still have something from that person, get rid of everything, delete everything, till you are back on your own positive emotions. You will do much better. At the same time, if you hear anything, and rejoice. Now the third part is, rejoicing, gawagoms, and make such aspiration they may never encounter any unfavorable circumstances. This is the third mind training that you should always try to exercise during your practice. All right? Lastly, as I just said, we are exhausted because of this unenlightened mind being rebirthed in this desire world. We have so much of preference, avoidance, positive, negative, friends, enemies. In the Dharma, philosophically, we call a dual mind. We have these dual emotions, right? Since we have these dual emotions, and we try to avoid, try to adopt, don't want to lose, wanted to gain, friends and enemies, all this preference and the dual perception is so exhausting. From the beginning, as a little teenagers till now, I heard from my family, my parents, my siblings, my friends telling me, you should do this, you are much better than that, you can do it, And they have been telling me how to be so destructive. and I'm exhausted. I have been following this, and I have been encouraging my friends. This person is not good to you. You should do better than that person. We teach each other how to have more desire, how to be more angry, how to be more aggressive. And we are really, really tired and exhausted. So now today, I want you to be free from that preference and live in such non-duality of equanimity, of perfect sameness, or maybe at least with great love and joy, seeing everyone as a part of me, and respecting and treating everyone with love and care. So dear Buddha, Bodhisattva, protectors, everyone here, I want you to be free from this samsaric activities. I want to be free from this struggle. So for the benefit of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity, for the 4 reasons, today I call on you, I take refuge under you, and I dedicate the entire evening for that purpose. So this is the self-checking. Always, every time you go neko sometimes, right? You do a lot of things, you contribute. Most of us, we do because our friend asks us to do, right? Because we are not very kind, to be honest, but we are a little bit a loser. We can't say no to people. And then the back of mind, you are just like, why? Because you live in a machine. So boring, this person, like I was and you are not genuine at all. So you become victim of your own, so-called weak mind. And I will never say you are kind, including myself. I'm the victim of not able to say no. Since my health, I become little harder now, little stronger. But most of the time, I really don't like the things I do, to be honest, including tonight's teaching, to be honest. I had a long day, But we had a conversation. I said, should we stop it? They said, no, people will enjoy, let's do it. I was like, really? Okay, So for example, genuine love and care is sometimes difficult, but you just do it because you can't say no, right? And don't do that. Even though beginning is because you can't say no, but when you are into actions, pick up yourself and develop that genuine emotions. All right, so actually we are talking right now about positive emotions. So I requested all of you to disconnect yourself from whatever you are experiencing just before you arrived in this hall. Disconnect. Now invite yourself into this 4 positive thinking and generate beautiful emotions of love, compassion, great joy, and such, liberated, free mind. Okay? All right, so let's begin this with great love. We all know these prayers. In the school, I think you say that too. I'm going to recite it. So put your hands together, contemplate on the meaning. Just say that I want all the sentient beings, including the people I hate so much or that had harmed me so much, I wish them to do well, and I send my love and prayers for that person. Semje Dhamje Dewa Dan Devi Judan Demba Jororichi. Semje Dhamje Dewa Dan Devi Judan Demba Jororichi. Semje Dhamje Dewa Dan Devi Judan Demba Jororichi. May all the sentient beings under the sun and the moon be happy and have the causes of happiness, which is love, compassion, and great awareness of the self-awareness. Now think of all the beings who are going through tremendous sufferings right now, especially if you have lost someone recently, your loved one. he or she left this world, yet we don't know where they are. Sorry to remind you, there's a possibility your loved one must be suffering in the hell realm. Could be. Because the one that who passed away was not a Buddha. It was a not enlightened beings. And everyone has ups and downs in life, good karma and bad karma. If the person had more bad karma, it most likely confirm is suffering somewhere down there, you know. Or it could be one that getting slaughtered for tonight as our own food for day after, you know. We don't know where he or she is. Similarly, all the beings who are going through tremendous suffering at this moment, you know, I really, really send my love and prayers and good karma. Hope that they have the means and the will to overcome their sufferings. May my prayers and dedications reach to them, and may she or he and all the sentient beings be free from sufferings. May all the sick people be healed. May they find the right treatment. May the doctors, nurse, and the family member be compassionate towards the chronic, that these patients. May the patients have the courage to live their life. There are many chronic diseases wish to end their life because they're so helpless. And we send our prayers, we send our love, so they have the means to overcome that sadness and the loneliness and the disabled emotions that they're experiencing right now. Semje tamje dongel da dongel ge jodan tawa jororo chi. Semje tamje dongel da donga ge jodan tawa jororo chi. Semje tamje dongel da dongel ge jodan tawa jororo chi. Now, switch ourselves to a positive emotion, much happier emotions. Now be happy with all the beings who are going through tremendous happiness, good health, good success. Be happy, as I told you, right? Including the one that who had harmed you. If they are enjoying their life, having a great time, wish them well. Send your prayers that they will never have any obstacles and difficult time in their life. Just have the same emotions when you are with that person, that you wish him or her to be happy, successful, healthy, and now they are enjoying it. So just be rejoice and happy. Similar to all the beings who are going through right now, having a plenty of success and health. So I wish that none of you will have obstacles and hindrance and experience unfavorable conditions or circumstances. Semje thamje dunya maybe dewa ta mete wara jurur chi. Semje thamje dunya maybe dewa ta mete wara jurur chi. Semje thamje dunya maybe dewa ta mete wara jurur chi. Now the last one is free from this preference and confused mind with hope and expectations, to be enlightened, right? To gain the freedom which we call nirvana. Nirvana is not up there, meaning literally tharpa, free. We Shashub say tharpa no omginila, right? That's the exact tharpa, meaning free yourself. Free from these worries and concerns and all this, psychologically dysfunctional emotions that we have. You have to be free from that. So what we do now is we really hope we can be enlightened, awakened. May our little Buddha be grown up and matured. May our sleeping Buddha be, the woken up, right? May we be over to, get better from the sickness of ignorance that we are experiencing right now, right? Semchen thamche dedu ge ju chadan nyeri dan tewe tanyom chenpo la nebar juru chi. Semchen thamche dedu ge ju chadan nyeri dan tewe tanyom chenpo la nebar juru chi. Semchen thamche dedu ge ju chadan nyeri dan tewe tanyom May we all be free from such unenlightened, impartial, biased kind of treatment and emotions. And may we all see as a one, the oneness and the sameness. These are the reasons that I'm doing all the practice, This is the reason I'm doing the Kora of the Chorten. These are the reason I'm sitting down and inviting myself into our practice, And sometimes we have, especially young people, ask such questions. Are you enlightened? I get this a lot in outside Bhutan. Oh, so you are they also call living Buddha. Are you a living Buddha? Are you enlightened? So you have to see if you want to check some of the lamas are enlightened or not enlightened, if they have these 4 qualities. Sorry, take out the incense. I'm not enlightened. I'm suffering, and I don't want to suffer. This is not very helpful yet. Thank you. So you have to check if the Lama has this 4 quality, unconditionally loving everyone, including the harm doers, and to him, he or she is quite special. If he has a really genuine compassion towards, regardless of who you are or who they are, it's easy to love important people. It's easy to be compassionate towards the, rich and wealthy people. But that Lama or anybody who is so unconditional and very caring and compassionate towards everyone, that person is really a Buddha, I think, And the third one, there's nothing negative about this person. Everything is so pure and always rejoicing for others, good, yeah, tata, oh, okay, This is such a positive emotions as well, Unfortunately, I'm not like that, but all my teachers were like that, Only expression of my teacher is yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, say something, Rinpoche. I want some comment somewhere. Rinpoche, that person is like, oh, yeah. It's like, seriously? Rinpoche, I did this, I did that. Oh, yeah. Wow. And you offer something. Rinpoche, this is too good. I bought this. Oh, yeah. So like, this is quite annoying and depressing. I'm an ordinary human being. Have some expression, teacher. Say something. So, for example, what happened is, so if there's such teacher like that, I think you found the right teacher, Buddha, and he is or she is enlightened, and especially if it's a non-preference, And I really like the part of the late J.K. Rinchen. Monks were so naughty, right? I don't know how true is that. I heard it from some of the friends. So since he is such a Mahasiddhi enlightened being, very non-conceptual, especially about his meal, they were so naughty. Sometimes they don't serve him any meal to the entire day. And he will, oi, tobasho, tatu jesa uchinglaze. Yeah, Then he doesn't eat because someone just told him that you had your lunch. And sometimes people like all the tashu, jindagams, I guess, jelu tangobe. He just had lunch, another tray comes in. Oh, tatu sasa uching. Jeramaji, tobashi midre. Yeah, And this is what it is. No preference. Amazing, right? So if you wanted to know, Lama, can you explain to me what is Dharma. What is Buddhism? This is Buddhism. This is Dharma, not burning that incense like that. My mother recently, the doctor asked me, does your mother smoke? I said, why? Oh, her lung has a stain, you know. And I heard this, even His Holiness, the President J. Kempo, the doctor thought he was smoking because every day there's a people apparently is very respectful, right? Always and then he has a lung problem, and doctor was thinking that he smokes, you know. And we consider these are the church, right? But never inwardly transforming ourselves to the next level, never training our mind. And I'm not surprised if you are hearing this for boundless love and quality in details only today, you know. Yet, from the schooling time till now, you have been saying that. Everyone says that, you know. But you are just been imitating it, never been contemplating. You didn't even make an effort. What is it says? You know, all the tune, you know. And I was just talking about it today earlier. There are a few the Bhutanese friends that I check what they do. You know, most of us we are doing the clear obstacle prayers. We call it kurim. You know, what you do is like dem sambal hindu pashalam se kamchunakbo janakado sindo sheranyingbo. And these are all for the temporary well-being. And you are not spiritual at all, actually. And you spend, there's a book. None of them is a spiritual practice, actually. It's all kurim, you know. And the dharma we call sakjang. None of you are actually doing sakjang. Sak means accumulations of wisdom, as I talked about it last night. Jang means purification. Then if you ask me simply, what are the sakjang? Best is the ngendo under your teacher. Otherwise, ija, chabdo, you know. And then the mani tungjur, bazaguru tungjur. And then the transformations, purifications. None of you do a shakpa purifications. There are very few people saying that I do shakpa. You know, there are one, two. Sometimes it happens, unfortunately, accidentally you meet some kind teacher, they let you recite Om Bhajasatu Samaya, you know. And then some of you randomly go everywhere, try to be part of every activity. You have not even done 100,000s of Chabdo Boom, right, refuge. To the extent, okay, cut it short. Anyway, things are like that. So I always say, doing right thing wrongly. What you're trying to do is a right thing, but you are doing it wrongly, you know. So there's a lot of work to do. Try to do the things rightly, you know. And so how I change this part is, try to do Kurim every Monday, because Monday to the Friday, you have 5 days of working days. So Monday morning, if possible, sambal hindu parshalam se sheranyingbo kamchunabo janakado, what else, you know, everything as your own rimdo. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, meditate on impermanence, meditate on love, compassion, joy, recite Ija, Manipemihu. Now everyone is getting sick, maybe medicine Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, you know. Spiritual is to continue even after this life. And what we are doing is we are just doing for this temporary life, which you may not even last 100 years, right? So this is why it's so important to understand and do the right thing rightly and have the right practice in the, you know, structured, right? So anyway, today we are going to the medicine Buddha practice. In the beginning, always doesn't matter you do Sanche, Dhamma, whatever you do now, always Sangye Chodan Soge Chonamla, right? After that, Semchen Tamche Dewata. At that, when you say Semchen Tamche, right away you just stop first. Think of love, compassion, joy, equanimity. Then you say Semchen Tamche Dewa Dan Devi Judan Demba Jorchi with a great smile. When it comes to the suffering, to the extent you even started tearing, feeling tremendous sadness of the beings going through sufferings, Anyway, that's how you should do it.
Tuje gona nyambe jomden de tsenzam den be ngondro dongwa san de som ne se sangye men mendo ra ye jen do chemba bi.
All right, so now we will move to the next part of the practice. If you look in the book, turn to the page where there's a 7-line prayers. Is a homage to Guru Rinpoche, since he is the only Buddha who visited Himalaya, and also they civilized this Himalaya. We were barbarians, and it was such a difficult geographically. It's filled with all the demons and spirits, So that's why King Tuzon doesn't struggle a lot, and he invited Guru Rinpoche as a pacifier and to transform this entire Himalaya. And we are very lucky that we had Guru Rinpoche visiting us and, having this place pacified, right? Not only that, including Chabgan Ngong Namgyel, has mentioned in many of his books, and these are living evidence. Everywhere is in Zongs, there's a Guru Rinpoche's statue, and Lama Ngawan Namgyel put all his trust in Guru Rinpoche, to unify Bhutan. It was known as a Homen, Hojong, in the 17th century when, Chabgan Ngawan Namgyel arrived. He took refuge under Guru Rinpoche, constantly praying, practicing. That's how he also civilized Bhutan and subdued as unified. This is why in all the zone there's accumulation of Guru Rinpoche Sende Bum, as well as in the morning they do all the hapsang, always meditating on Guru Rinpoche. All the zongs in the night they have to do the Tagmar prayer practice, which is a wrathful Guru Rinpoche. And so meaning Guru Rinpoche has a greater impact, and all the things that we are enjoying right now is due to his manifestations, And he also sent Tetum Pema Lingpa as his representative to Bhutan, And with this, we have the Ongshu, dynasty from Pema Lingpa's descendant, and still Guru Rinpoche's presence is still, very alive. So as a gratitude to Guru Rinpoche, we say the 7-line prayers, requesting him to continue to guide us, to bless us, and protect us.
Kondo kondo mambe ko kingi jeso da doge yenge lamche shiso ze guru bema zede.
As a Bhutanese, always remember, whenever you recite 7-line prayers, gratitude towards Guru Rinpoche. Okay? Not only receiving his siddhi and his attainment, but gratitude. I wanted to share this story. I studied in India myself. His Holiness Dalai Lama makes this Tibetan settlement camp visit annually. So he visited Rinpoche's monastery, and he's a very blunt teacher. This is something that I really appreciate about the quality, being honesty in Dalai Lama. So they were like, to the extent we were concerned, there were 10,000 monks alone, 3,000 from our monastery, and then the rest of all the Balakopi camp monks, it made up to 10,000 monks. 20 over 1,000 Tibetan, the refugees outside the temple. His Holiness suddenly, because it has a huge Guru Rinpoche statue, he looked at everyone and he said, "Do you all actually recite the name of Guru Rinpoche?" Then we were like, "No way, he's doing this publicly, right?" Because His Holiness is a Gelug tradition, and unfortunately, one incident, one of the Gelug master went against Guru Rinpoche. Literally, when he was in power, he destroyed Guru Rinpoche's statue. He told the lay people that you are worshipping devils, to the extent collect all the mala and throw it away. So there was a true story about that. So that we are thinking that this is not very pleasant. But he was fearless, of course, being the king of Tibet. So he said, "I wanted to tell you the truth," he says. "We Tibetans were very unappreciative. Tibet is because of Guru Rinpoche," he said. He called it Pema Jungne, Lopen Pema Jungne, meaning teacher Pema Jungne. He says, because of Lopen Pema Jungne. But we Tibetans were ungrateful. I don't want to tell you in details. We did some terrible things against him, he said. And we did not, most of us, part of Tibetan, did not pray to him. I always think we lost our freedom because of that, he said. I'm serious. I really think this is what happened. Then he put his hands together and he recite by heart 7-line prayers. And he said, "Please, if you want the freedom, recite it more. We are lacking of gratitude. We really did not do that. So similarly, I'm inspired. If you look at it, Pema Sambhawa did a lot, right? Pema Sambhawa did a lot. It's important for us to be grateful. And to the extent I was requested to lead Mani Tungjur somewhere in Paro. And I requested, Paro is one of the most powerful ne in Bhutan. Instead, can we do recitations of 7-line prayers? I think which will bring tremendous contributions for Tsawasum. Practicing Guru Rinpoche as an enlightened Buddha, not even Bodhisattva. Is like knowing the king and knowing the minister, for example. And I'm not making it up. It's the logic. Pema Sambhawa is the enlightened Buddha. Avalokiteshvara, all the things we pray now, is a Bodhisattva. Of course, Bodhisattva has tremendous manager on duty, yet if you practice a Buddha, is a very unconditional enlightened, as mentioned in the teachings. Only Bodhisattva, enlightened Buddha has the knowing everything. Kemba, Tsewa, Nuba, Kense, Nusum. Having all the knowing everything and the unconditional love, and then the strength, power, called Kense, Nusum. So, with few of the people, I tried that in Paro before COVID. After COVID, so we are not able to bring the practice back. So these are all inspired by those great masters, histories, the incidents. So that's why whenever you practice Guru Rinpoche, always grateful. Always gratefulness is so important, and the gratitude. Okay. All right, let's move to the lineage of the teachers. Not only Guru Rinpoche, but all the teachers who continue this lineage, from the Samantabhadra to our own teacher, who protected Buddha Dharma, pass it down to us, so we still have the perfect, uncontaminated, misinterpreted, unbroken practice. So as a gratitude to the teachers, and we pay homage to them.
Kinsan dozen garai shiri zepema garai jemba nijong sozo nomya trete janza zo kadre nama namla zewa de toje kola nyombe chomde de zenza tembe ngonde donga doso nese sanje menge la bendo raye shabla zewa de sawe dambo mejo doje da toje chembo karma chame tembe kolo konza shira denje yamse sumla zawa de ome jege Yenge poda do de sum sanje kunje ngo raze je ko ngo zo denze be tawe la me jabla sewa de to ye me Jambara jinge lo kewa kundo yanda daman Jeme chige bela lo je sada namge yende rabzo ne doje change gomba nyonto
Offering of instrument as a salutations to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Now, the next practice is taking refuge. Since you're all educated, search on internet. What is the meaning of taking refuge in Buddha as a Buddhist? It's amazing. Somehow in Bhutan we don't have the tradition of taking refuge. Only when you become a monk, when you become a monk, then you take refuge. As a lay follower, you are actually just born into Buddhist family, but you are actually not Buddhist, by spiritually, because you have not even initiated refuge vow, as we call Chabdogi Domba. And Chabdogi Domba is it's just another ceremony, another practice, and that you will cut bit of your hair, like how Gautama Buddha had shaped his head, So meaning from lay people's life and joining the spiritual path. As an auspicious sign, teacher will cut your hair a little bit, So meaning is an auspicious sign, symbol of how the Gautama Buddha shaped his head and they shouldn't, namdadung. So you just let the refuge teacher cut a little bit of your hair, and at the same time you make your wish, I'm leaving this ordinary human being behind and walking on the spiritual dharma path, like how Buddha, Prince Siddhartha left his palace and being on the spiritual path. And you will also get a new name, Chuming, Dharma name, And surprisingly, and all the Lamchop, all the lamas, the high Rinpoches who travels outside Bhutan, they have been doing this to the non-Bhutanese, but we don't do this to the Bhutanese here, And there's a saying, but if there's no ceremony, I don't think it will work. But there was some part of the teaching and history of Bhutan part when Lamangawon Namgyal, unified Bhutan, he made all of us wear kabne, and all the men and women keep short hair. It's considered as by birth you become Buddhist. But there's no teaching such as by birth you become a Buddhist. You have to become a Buddhist. Like Buddha was born, became a Dharma follower when he was 29, and that tradition is there, So that since you have taken the refuge, after that, every practice we renew our refuge. And I also wanted to tell you that Domba Kunla Yumiki Chapsu Mason Wala Me, Buddha himself said, anyone can be practiced, anyone can be enlightened, but not those who have not taken refuge. It's quite a serious thing. It's a very serious thing, If you have not taken a refuge, all the practice you do is not supposed to be any meaning into it, And I think I need someone more enlightened person to confirm that that is okay. But if you go by black and white, personally, and that's why even when we do, for example, when people become our student, first thing we do is we give them the refuge vow. Let them become a Dharma practice follower. Give them the new name. Give them the, cut their hair. And then they, as a reminder, in every practice, there's a refuge, to renew our vow, right? All right, so this is just for your knowledge and informations. So now our main practice, we will begin with taking refuge. Those who have taken refuge before, it's renewing. At the same time, we take refuge under Medicine Buddha, spiritually, and for the benefit of all the sentient beings, and generating a great motivations of love and kindness for the purpose of this practice.
Namo Genjo Somda Zawa So Jamne Namla Jabzo Je Doge Zange Lange Je Janjo Chondo Zemge Do Kenjo Somda Zawa So Jamne Namla Jabzo Je Doge Zange Lange Je Janjo Chondo Zemge Do Konjo Zomda Zawa So Jamne Namla Jabzo Je Doge Zange Lange Je Janjo Chondo Zemge Do.
Now the next is to purify and to prepare our so-called place for Buddha's arrival. Vajrayana is full of visualization. Teaching of the Tantra, Vajrayana practice, is based on visualization. The purpose is, if you look at it, we are also visualizing, right? It's not real. Everything is just imaginations, right? Intellectually speaking. So in order to wake up from this daydreaming, whatever things, illusions, world that we live in, so we create another illusion, such as Pure Land, Buddha coming down. So it's like, as an antidote to what we are attached to right now. For example, how illusion our world is. All right. Let's say when you have say when you uh, let's say a man, let's say a girl, for example, right? That you hate so much, you consider her as a beach, for example, right? You're so upset, offended, devil. The moment that person walked by, you freaked out because you hate that person so much. That is your illusion to it. But her dear friend is thinking she is such an angel. Oh, darling, you just walk in. Like, we can't stand it. And to the daughter, it's a beautiful mother, right? And to the mother, she is a beautiful daughter. But to you, she is a terrible animal, right? So who is true? No, just let's use your wisdom a little bit. Who is right? What is happening here, intellectually speaking? If the world is so true, we must see everything as one, through one lens. Am I right? Unfortunately, only things we see is the 1,000 note. Everyone sees that is 1,000 note. The rest of the thing, for example, anyway, for education purpose, right? If you look at it, so it explains the world is so fake, is illusions. It's just manifestations of our projections. Do you agree now? As an antidote to this, we visualize. We create another beautiful Buddha, Pure Land, Chökang. So now this is the part of purifications. We have set up Torma, Chaba, everything here. And consider this is a really joke if you look at it. How the Buddha can fit into this. But mentally we want to fit the entire world into it as source of our energy, the Chosham. Right? Vajrayana is quite interesting. And practically, intellectually, if you really look at it, it's possible because there's no existence. We are free of existence, right? All right. Anyway, to cut it short, not to be too philosophical. Anyway, so right now, this is the part we manifest, we purify, transform the entire Thimphu city into Buddha, Bekhanze's Lapis Lazuli Pure Land. And then relatively, it's called relatively, and then absolutely in the wisdom Buddha will be descending and merge into this world, and we eventually become the pure and pure land. All right, let's do the purification part.
Mende geze lamo je seme joji boza ho doge de donga de le nyame
Now the next one is the visualization. So we have to visualize pure land of Buddha Bekhanze, which is called pure land of Lapis Lazuli, Shasho Bindurei Shinkham. In that pure land, the Buddha called Guru Bekhanze or Bindurei Yugi Gyabo is, dwelling in that pure land. He is blue in color, right hand holding the medicinal Arura plant, left hand holding that nectar of, 108 so-called medicinal herbs, And such an enlightened mind and the eyes and the ears is, directed to us, and listening to our request and gazing down and always there to guide and protect us. Not only him, he's accompanied by other seven Buddhas, 18 bodhisattvas. Since that Pure Land is so perfect and spontaneously uh, mm, built with lapis lazuli, all the uh, wealth god such as Zambala, and then the Vietnam These and all the other wealth protectors are also there. It's by nature they enjoy this preciousness of the lapis lazuli Pure Land. So also it's mentioned in the text if you read. So visualizing that, and we are imagining that we have the access to it, and through mentally imagining this, and followed by the welcoming from the eastern lapis lazuli Pure Land, descending to this human world of uh, Bhutan, Thimphu, at a very particular place, as our source of our support, a source of our so-called practice as our support. And imagining, visualizing when the instrument and the Lama will do the welcome. So imagine all the dakinis and all this beautiful, like in country, how when His Majesty arrived, all the Sidra and all these things, overwhelming energy. Just be on that meditative stage. Let's visualize.
Sambhava Shuddha Sarva Dhamma Sambhava Shuddha Domba Nido Jur Dombe Ngale Donsum De Dana Doge Bodhan Do Jurbe Nando Singye Ti Penda Suze Dendo Ranye Da Dinge Geto Esa Moe Dengale Mela Kondo Bendo Raya Tabo Yeze Tovi Koje Chuge Sumge Lomba Chaye Chojin Aro Rada Ye Nyamja Lonze Zemba Tsembe Dojin Doji Kirtonge Shop Kembra Do Dinge Ge Nama Namla Tongwa Lazo Sange Denda Jebo Den Dejab Semba Judun Dejab Jede Jongwa Jud Debe Junye Sozo Koda Jeba Goji La Gebo Chembo Shida Jembe Nezum Yege Sumda Toge Onle Yete Be Shacho Sange Soze Jingam Ne Yeshe Baba Do Meba Chen Dane Dade Namla De
Welcoming the Buddha. Barje
Namo Mahamega Jesa Parewa Banza Samaya Za Banza Samaya Titale Om Ho Dari
So in the practice is mentioned, you have to, in the beginning with a good intention, in the middle without non-conceptual, especially not thinking of being the ordinary world, oh, my knees aching, oh, I need to go back for my dinner, oh, I have something on, I have Netflix to catch up, TV serial to catch up. All this conceptual should be erased and be at the present non-conceptually. For ordinary people, this is non-conceptual. Just be with the practice. Every word is meditatively observe, and just read, contemplate, be with the practice. This is called non-conceptual. Now, in the presence of Guru Bekhanze's entourage, we make offerings of the 8 objects in details. In short, we are making offerings of 5 sensory. So you see this in your chosham when you do the rimdo. Begins with 2 water. First water is the water for the drinking. Second water is refreshment, and then the third one is the flower garland. Fourth one is incense for the smell, and then the fifth one is the lamp to the eyes, and sixth one is the uh, massage oil for the feeling, and the seventh one is the uh, food for the taste, the torma. Eighth one is the instrument, the life instrument here, all the tungjaling. So these are the 8 offerings, and minus 2 in the beginning, so it become actually, the 6 sensory offerings, right? So it's not that Buddha will actually enjoy in his demand. We have these weaknesses, especially the 5 sensory. We want beautiful things to see. We want good things to be heard. We want good food to be, the taste, and good touched, right? All these weaknesses are there. So in order to purify all the bad karma that we have accumulated through these sensories to be purified. So as our offerings to the Buddha, we make that offerings, followed by 8 auspicious sign, precious, 7 precious, and all the good things on the earth that actually possible normally causes of our sufferings, all the possessions, including sun and the moon and the mandala offerings. So you imagine making all these offerings to the Buddhas and Bodhisattva. Uh,
Ma jagara ben chembe la ka den chembe ma jone ko la de do me da da lo no sembe kan oje rembo che la che ba bi je de wan chon do je lab de ye ge ge gen zen da do de ba pin de ji zo je ya de ye nye nga wa nam ge she do che ba bi wo min che ge yin ge po dang do de zum zan je gong ge ngo Razim je go ngozum den zebe zaye la me je do jemba bi.
Now let's make offerings to the Buddha as well with the chapa.
Me to dombe marme di zunda di ro reja je dage la la chimba be da ja soni zo bara sho gam ban dan bi bi do be alo gen gen de no de ja
Dogen namda shenpa chenpa sho guru rena mandala buddha mega samudra sambarana Detailed explanations are translated in the book. So now is the offering bathing of the Buddha. Again, it's not because Buddha has to be showered. It's to as a symbol of purifications of our own stain and the karma. So we make offerings of shower to Buddha, offering towel, offering robes, and so on. praising the qualities of Guru Bekhanze in all the entourage, their kindness, their compassion, their strength, and the power to guide us. Now, this is the main practice, visualizing Guru Bekhanze in the space in front of us, and visualizing also if you are into a little bit more serious practice, visualize a character Hung, syllable Hung, in the center of Guru Bekhanze as well as in your heart, and you become the so-called potential Guru Bekhanze. Another word, just visualize Guru Bekhanze in front of you, in the space in front of you, and reciting the mantra. And the mantra was taught by Gautama Buddha, as Manjushri requested. So the meaning, in short, Tadhyatha Om Bishanze Bishanze Maha Bishanze Raja Samongati Soha. Tadhyatha literally meaning one that went beyond this non-dual, this dual life of samsara, in the existence of samsara as enlightened beings. Om, having all the enlightened wisdom and energy and the source of so-called attainment or blessing, so-called, right? Bekhanze, addressing him as a healer, to heal all our diseases. Bekhanze, second Bekhanze is not only the physical diseases, but also the mental disorders and the mental illness that we are experiencing or someone is experiencing at the moment. Bekhanze, Maha Bekhanze, meaning a great healer. Why? Because not only heal diseases and the mental illness, but it will also help us to free from all the harm doers of spirits, and then all this what we call black magic, Nyen, or Den, Shinde, Sunday, Gab, Ko, Sen, Lu, as all our sibs and people say, right? And of course, we buy the idea, we freaked out, we can't sleep in the night, that you are haunted. All those things can be released and freed through the practice of Guru Bishanze. Again, it was taught by Gautama Buddha, Sachamuni Buddha to the Manjushri, okay? It was not composed by one teacher for fun. Yeah? or thinking that it will help. So Bekhanze, Bekhanze, Maha Bekhanze. So Maha Bekhanze, 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 Maha Bekhanze. Maha Bekhanze literally meaning to free us from the harm doers and protect us from obstacles, also to clear our obstacles. Raja, and referring to Guru Bekhanze as a king of the healer, because by practicing and taking refuge with Guru Bekhanze, it will, since is an enlightened Buddha, it will help us to be enlightened as well, and then to also to purify all our negative karma through our practice in dedications of generations of bodhicitta, and as well as without uncontaminated or untainted practice. This can help us to, spiritually flourish into the next level at transformations. So that's why we call him healer, healer, a great healer, a king of a healer. Bekhanze, Bekhanze, Maha Bekhanze, Raja. Samvangati, Samvangati meaning all of us, not only me, as I motivated with my full boundless love and quality, the entire world should be healed by your energy and your wisdom. Swaha means best, O your enlightened body, speech, mind into our ordinary body, speech in the mind. Meaning merge into one or transform into it. So these are the meaning, as well as you should be contemplating on that with a great confidence, with great trust in the teachings of the Buddha, if you consider you are actually a Nangba, follower of the Buddha. And the particular sadhana practice that you are right now following with me, it was taught by Guru Bekhanze himself personally appeared to Tetin Minjur and taught him, to share this with the human being, the sadhana, the practice. So this is Terma teaching. There are medicine Buddha practice. There are many different versions. There are sutra where it's, the words from the Buddha come down, edited a little bit, translated, called dochok. It's like that thick, reading the names of the Buddhas and this and that. And there are many other masters like Nagarjuna, then many of them as a phrase, as a practice, they compose. Very recently, His Holiness the Jigempo also composed one medicine Buddha practice. So these are all composed by the kind, compassionate, sometimes enlightened masters as a gratitude to their medicine Buddha. But this practice, the setting, the wording, was taught by medicine Buddha himself to Menjur Doji, is called Namche, is a sky therma. So from the sky, it appeared and taught. And it was not, is a mythology or some myth. There's a temple in Payul called Tibet, and they have all the remaining of Menjur Doji. It was witnessed by many other masters. Yet it's also prophesied by Guru Rinpoche that there will be another treasure revealer called Menjur Doji, which is very popular, among every schools, meaning that Nyingma Kaju Sache Giluk, that was also taught by Amitabha to Menzushiri. The same Lama who rebuilt the Ema Hongosar Sangye also rebuilt and learned this practice, just for your information. All right, so these are the story of this practice, and I received it from Pendra Rinpoche when I was studying in Mysore, and I adopted this practice when I had chronic, disease when I was going under treatment. All right, so it has been very helpful, and please visualize and recite the mantra now.
Taya da om begaje maha begaje raja samo gati so Taya da om begaje Maha Bekaje Raja Gati so Taya ta om bekaje maha bekaje raja samo Gati so Taya ta om bekaje maha bekaje raja samo Gati so Taya ta om bejaje maha bekaje raja samo Gati so Taya ta om bekaje maha bekaje raja samo Gati so Taya ta om bekaje maha bekaje raja samo Gati so Taya ta om bekaje maha bekaje raja samo Gati so ha de tom bekaje ma bekaje raja samo Gati so ha de tom bekaje ma bekaje raja samo
Visualize a white light shining from Guru Bekhanze's forehead, dissolving into our forehead, that purifies all our misdeeds through our body, such as stealing, sexual misconduct, and consuming lives, and as well as meat, and killing all these insects. These are the three misdeeds that possibly one could commit. Through this practice, it helps to purify all our wrongdoings of the body and attain the enlightened body of Guru Bekhanze. From the throat, there's a red light arises and dissolves into our throat. It purifies all our wrong speeches, such as harsh speaking and not telling the truth, gossiping, right? and fabricating stories between friends. So these are the things that we kind of accumulate through our speech. I regret all the things that I have done through my speech and seek for forgiveness and purifies through my recitations of this practice. May my speech become truthful, meaningful, and may I able to console as well as counseling people, through my speech. May my speech almost become like a teaching of the Dharma that is so meaningful, so helpful. Now there's a blue light from my heart, referring to chest. From the chest, blue light arises, dissolving into my chest, releases all my stress, sadness, anxiety, and then the mental disorders that I'm experiencing right now. At the same time, I admit I had a lot of negative thoughts, dysfunctional ideas and concepts towards others due to my jealousy, number one. Second, I was jealous and I really wish harmed. And actually, I even made the wish and prayed that they have some bad lugs. And due to my modern educations and the environment, I'm not very spiritual in the beginning. I'm critical about everything. I criticize all what my parents did. I still question the meaning of my life. I don't know if there is a next life. One of my students once told me that when he was not a Dharma follower, he said, animals is thought to be, he thought it's to be consumed. He never thought they have the feelings and fear. They are part of food. He said, now when he think of it, he says he still feels so sad that wisdom never came to him when he was not Dharma follower. That actually fish, chicken is to be consumed, And he thought it's all right to eat these meats. So we do have few friends, they say the same thing. If you don't eat meats, there will be overpopulations of animals, which is so ridiculous. It will never happen, Animals eat each other. They last very short life, about 10, 15, 20 years. Human live about 100 years, average 60, 70s, right? These are the funny logic that we have, and these are called wrong view. And some of the wrong view people who are well-to-do, when you have little power, position, wealth, because you are not suffering right now, you are so arrogant, full of attitude, In a year, you don't even visit temple once. This is a very personal Bhutanese story. There was one very, very powerful man, got sick once. And happened, I have the friends in common. And we tried to do a prayer for him, puja, literally. And his home, got a beautiful home, but there's no chosham. It's not even apartment. Huge bungalow, but there's no chosham. And he was not here. We look around, 2, 3 living rooms, karaoke rooms, bar. There's no chosham. And we look at each other, and the person was suffering from incurable disease. I felt really sad. I felt really sad to the extent I was like, depressed for a couple of days, thinking that what is happening? None of the things that he has, the connection, the power, the strength, could not save him eventually, And I'm sure many of the young people now at your home, you don't have shosham. You will not need it right now, right? Because you are still happening. Certainly, something will happen to you. All the huge TV that you have will not make sense. All the things that you have, will not make sense. You know, by then you wanted to create a chosham, it's too late. It's too late. So this is what it is. Mentally wrong view I'm explaining about. Migewa Chu. Migewa Chu from the last one is the wrong view. From the 10 non-virtue. Wrong view is something like that. Because I'm okay. I don't need blessing. I'm well loved. I have great connection. I have the power. Don't need puja. Yes, since you have the saving from your past life, you will take a great momentum. When it comes to the exhaustions, suddenly you will die in accident, or you will have incurable disease, or you will be unloved, you are not favorite anymore, or your wealth is somehow exhausted. Then you will be helpless, right? Similarly, young people right now, that we find it so difficult. Some of you relatives, parents, friends are very devout. They try to lead you to the path, but you are just stubborn. I shared this story very recently, that one young man died in the hospital, and when he just was critical time, family member requested me to visit him, hoping that I have the miracle. And I want to tell you the truth. I do not have miracle. Miracle is in your hand right now. Yet I went. He was conscious. Somehow he gained his consciousness. And I asked, "Do you say any prayers?" It's like, oh, no. Manichara janimiga se. And he's in a very bad condition. There's nothing I can do about it. I look at his family member. I look at him. I feel so helpless. I wanted to show my miracle, but it won't work. Firstly, I don't have, and there's no connection. It's like two different connector. Sometimes we have the European things we erupt here, we cannot plug in. The connection is missing because he never created that connections, right? And next couple of days he died. And this story is repeating every day in the hospital. It will repeat to your loved one as well, right? It will repeat to many young Bhutanese and many successful Bhutanese in the deathbed, helplessly, will die because lacking of a spiritual element, because of this wrong view, because you don't buy these ideas. I share, there was someone told me once, it was before COVID. So we talk about the event in Chorten, and the man told me, he was then serving as a very important man somewhere. He says, "Hey, you Lamchobs have to be careful with the loudspeaker. When we drive by here, it's very noisy." I was shocked. I said, say it again, Limbo. No, it's very, very noisy when you make all this noise when we drive by. He says, it's very noisy. I still can't digest that. Not because I'm offended, I'm saddened. I'm really, really saddened, that we have such kind of wrong view, unethical attitude, behaviors, which is so, so destructive. And this is repeating, I'm sure, it will repeat, this kind of many, many things like that. And this will have a great impact on the peacekeeping of this country and the flourishing of the spirituality